Hello everyone, welcome back to the sbre. In today's video, we're taking a look at the 2017 horror movie Mom and Dad, starring Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair. Mom and Dad tells the story of a virus that affects the brain of the parents, causing their love for their kids to turn into hatred, driving them to kill their own kid. Watch the video till the end so you don't miss out on anything. Now just sit back, relax, and enjoy. The movie starts with a blank TV screen playing a static noise. Then the scene shifts to a mother who, along with her child, were sitting in a car. She puts on the radio and leaves the car. As she walks away, we realize her car is in the middle of a train track. The gates behind her close, and the train smashes into the car, killing her son, who was still trapped inside. She had deliberately killed her son. The next scene shows a 17-year-old girl named Carly talking to her boyfriend Damon and making plans to meet with him after he had finished his last test at school. Suddenly, her younger brother and troublemaker of the family, Josh, walks into the room and starts bothering her. Though their children are a lot to handle sometimes, Brent and Kendall love them very much. The same can't be said about the kids. Carly is always rude to her parents, and Josh never listens to anyone. The family is gathered downstairs for breakfast, watching the news of the woman who killed her son. They are joined by the maid Sun Yi and her daughter Lisa. Taking this opportunity, Carly asks her parents if she can go out with Damon after school. Brent immediately refuses, as he believes Carly was still too young to date. Kendall also agrees with Brent, reminding them that their grandparents were going to visit them today. Carly wants to cancel the plan, which causes an argument between the mother and daughter. Carly storms out of the kitchen and steals $100 from Mom's purse so she can hang out with her friends. Kendall drives Carly to her school, and throughout the whole drive, Carly is busy on her phone not responding to her mom. Kendall is hurt by the disrespect and calls her out, making Carly snap at her. On the other hand, Brent was still getting ready to leave for the office when Josh, who still didn't go to school, deliberately threw his ball at Brent's face. Startled by the hit, Brent stared at Josh angrily, making his smile fade. He looked murderous, but seconds later his expression changed and he laughed it off. After dropping off Carly, Kendall goes to meet a friend, Jeannie, where they talk about Kendall's pregnant sister, who she was going to see later. Suddenly, their topic shifts to their daughter, as Kendall looks into her bag and finds her money missing. Jeannie immediately comments how Riley often steals money from her, indirectly hinting that Jenna must have done the same. And though Kendall laughs it off and defends her daughter, she too can't help but think that Jeannie may have been right. At school, Carly was looking bored in her class when suddenly the phone rang, catching everyone's attention. The teacher is asked to let a student leave because their parents are here. The class goes on, but the phone rings again. It repeats many times and everyone is confused about what's going on. Carly also sees many cop cars pull outside the school and doesn't think much of it. In another room, Damon is taking his exams. He finished his papers early and was about to leave when he saw a group of parents staring into the exam hall. Something about their expressions set him off. They each looked murderous as they stared at their children, who were obviously still writing their exams. Damon got out of the exam hall as all the parents stared at him. Seconds later, he saw all the parents entering the exam hall. Not particularly bothered by the bizarre events, Carly and Riley are both seen in the bathroom trash-talking their mother. But when they leave the bathroom, they find the school is in chaos. They walk out of the school to find the school gates surrounded by parents. The parents were banging at the gate, going violent when they saw their child. Some were desperately calling their kids over, and one mother even tried to climb the boundary only to be restrained by two cops. The whole situation was weird. The authorities were warning kids to stay away from their parents, and after seeing that their parents are acting crazy, a majority of the kids did back away. But there was this one kid who naively tried to climb over the gate, even after being stopped by the police and the teacher. He was successfully dragged down by his mother, who immediately stabbed him multiple times with her car keys. The students panicked and started running away. Seeing their children getting away, the parents went crazy and broke into the school. Carly and Riley were running for their lives. Some parents had already gotten a hold of their children and were killing them in various ways. The parents ignored anyone who wasn't their own child, so Carly and Riley managed to escape as both their parents hadn't showed up. Riley suggests they go hang out at her house, and they drive off. The scene shifts and we see Damon entering his house to find the house is a mess and his dad passed out on a chair with the TV on. The TV showed a blank screen that was playing some static noises. He ignores it and goes to clean up the house. He comes back after throwing the trash out to find out his dad was missing. Behind him, his dad appears and slaps him without saying anything. Damon is confused, but he rules it off as his dad being drunk. But his father was more than just drunk, and Damon realizes that when he breaks a beer bottle and chases him around with it. Damon somehow managed to escape, but his dad trips and falls onto the table, stabbing himself with the glass he was holding. Carly and Riley arrive at Riley's home and decide to stay there till it's safe. Riley immediately starts smoking drugs. Carly ignores her and instead turns on the TV that was covering the new virus that affects parents. Riley walks upstairs to her room only to find her mom sitting in her bed holding her picture. And when she doesn't come back after some time, Carly goes to find Riley's mom attacking her daughter. But when she peeks into Riley's room, she finds Riley's mom strangling her daughter to death. She immediately runs away and doesn't stop running until she finds a man on the street with a bloodied baseball bat that he had just used to kill his son. Not wanting to be seen, she slowly backs away and runs into Damon. She then realizes that Josh is home alone, and they decide to get him before either of Carly's parents comes home. On the other hand, Kendall is sitting in her car thinking back about a job interview she had with her previous boss and how she had rejected her because she hadn't worked in 15 years because of her kids. She feels humiliated and frustrated about what her life has become because of the kids, and they don't even respect her at all. Her attention shifts when she gets a phone call from her sister asking her to hurry over. She immediately goes to the hospital. In the lobby, she sees the news about the new virus that's affecting the parents. The news covers how the virus suppresses their maternal instinct and turns all their love into hatred, making them want to harm their child. Her sister has a successful delivery and she's very happy to hold her child when suddenly the TV in the room turns into static noise. The sister's expression immediately changes as she tightens her hold on the baby, nearly choking her. And when that doesn't work, she grabs the blade and attempts to stab the baby. Everyone tries to hold her back, and Kendall finally manages to take the baby from her. The baby is shifted to the ICU, where we see many parents gathered outside the glass window, watching their kids inside with a not-so-good intention. Worried about her own kids, she calls her maid Sun-Yi and asks her where Josh was. When Sun-Yi assures her that Josh was okay and Brent still wasn't home, she rushed to get home before Brent. In his office, Brent wakes up to the static noise playing on his computer. He looks at the picture of his kids and screams. Brent has also been infected. On the other hand, Carly and Damon reach Carly's home. After making sure none of Carly's parents are home, they enter the house. They find Sun-Yi wiping the floor aggressively and ask her about Josh. They are startled when Sun-Yi brings her the mop to squeeze it. The mop is covered in blood. Carly immediately asks Sun-Yi to leave the house and goes to find Josh, who was hiding under his bed. Josh tells her how he had seen Sun-Yi brutally attack her daughter Lisa with a mallet. Downstairs, Brent enters his home and is enraged after seeing Damon there. Damon tries to stall for time, but Brent comes to attack him. When Josh hears his dad's voice, he immediately rushes downstairs and calls for him, diverting Brent's attention from Damon. When Brent sees Josh, he goes to attack him only to be stopped by Damon. He bangs Damon's head on the floor and chases after his kids. He suddenly trips on Josh's toy truck and falls, giving Carly and Josh a chance to lock themselves in the basement. Kendall is already outside the house, and we realize that she too has been infected. She now has joined her husband and wants to kill her kids. At first, she tries to talk to the kids into opening the door, but when Carly refuses, she goes to find an electric saw. Brent also walks into his room to find his gun, but it turns out it's missing. We see that earlier that day, Josh was trying to open the case, and because the password was Josh's birthday, he successfully opened the safe and played around with the gun. Kendall was using the electric saw to drill holes into the door when suddenly she gets shot in the arm. We see Josh on the other side holding a gun. As it turns out, Josh had actually hidden the gun in his backpack and he brought it with him. Now the parents are reluctant to try again, afraid to be shot. Brent bandages Kendall's arm and they think of some other way to kill their kids. Brent gets a new idea. He plans on injecting LPG gas into the basement to make it harder for the kids to breathe. Kendall helps him get the pipe into the basement, and on their way, she finds Lisa's rotting body dumped into their garbage. She decides to ignore it and focus on setting up the pipe. Then they sit outside the door waiting for the kids to start coughing and pass out so they can break in. After a while, we see Josh experiencing difficulty in breathing. This causes Carly to look for another way out. She finds a vent and decides to use it to escape. She then sets a trap under the door with a match she had found. The plan was, the match would light the moment their parents would try to open the door, causing an explosion thanks to all the LPG gas in the air. She then coughs really loudly to catch her parents' attention and follows Josh into the vent. The parents are happy to hear that the kids are coughing. This meant that their plan had worked. They wait a little before opening the door. When they open the door, it causes a huge explosion. Brent is badly burnt, but because Kendall was at a distance, it doesn't affect her the same. Carly and Josh get down from the ceiling, but Carly accidentally makes some noise while coming down, alerting her mother. Her mother chases her with a mallet and corners her in her room. Carly hides in the far corner, hoping that the door won't break, but unfortunately, it does. Kendall comes rushing into the room and attacks her daughter. Carly manages to bite the wound on her mother's arm, making her let go, but she doesn't make it far. Fortunately, Damon, who had just gained consciousness, came in to help her, and they somehow managed to lock Kendall in the closet. She struggles at first, but goes silent after a while. Carly and Damon lower their guard thinking she's tired. Big mistake, because seconds later a hand holding a broken hanger emerges from the closet and stabs Damon right through his cheeks. Soon, Carly and Josh were cornered by their parents, and they were about to attack their kids when suddenly the doorbell rang. In the whole ordeal, they had entirely forgotten that the grandparents were visiting today. Brent goes to open the door and greets them. Suddenly, Brent's mom sprays Brent and his dad attacks him. Turns out Brent's parents were also infected and overcome with the urge to kill Brent. The situation now was Josh was being chased by his father Brent, while Brent was being chased by his own father. Josh gets chased into the garage and hides in his dad's car. Brent tries to catch him through the window but fails to do so because his father was constantly stabbing him from behind. In the kitchen, Kendall tries to stop Brent's mom from attacking Brent, but when it doesn't work, she smashes her head with the mallet. She then proceeds to chase Carly out of the house and gets very close to hitting her when Grandma comes out from behind to protect her. Josh had managed to escape from Brent, but Brent's father was still trying to attack him, so he got into the car and started it. But while he was backing away, he accidentally hit his mother, killing her. Startled by this, he lost control of the car and crashed it. The impact caused Brent's father to bounce off the car and die. It also knocked Brent unconscious. Kendall, who had stopped to watch the scene, turned her attention to Carly again, but Damon came between them and hit her with a shovel, knocking her out. In the final scene, we see Kendall and Brent tied in the basement. Kendall tries to act normal to get her kids to trust her, but she shows her true color when Carly refuses to release them. Brent says that though they love their two children, sometimes they wish they could just kill them. This makes us wonder if Brent was thinking about killing Josh that morning when he had thrown the ball at his face. That was it for today, guys. We hope you enjoyed the video. What are your thoughts about this movie? Would you watch it? Have a movie you want us to recap? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.